guys. I just can't believe 3 years in a row, like, people are still coming. You'd think after a while they'd be like, it can't be that different from last time.
What's your ethic?
He still has, like, no hair, still kind of chunky. He can't have, like, gone and done exciting things. In the meantime, I'm not going to stand where that goes in my eye. Yeah, there we go, that's better. The blue light wants to be like, so how many people have been to one of these panels of mine before? For how many people is this your first time? That was all the hands, but before there was some, I feel like we got 150%. That's my kind of math. Okay, so how many people, this is their second one of my panels at NDK? A couple people, okay, I can recycle jokes. Excellent. How many people, and I apologize in advance, how many people is this their third Seitz panel? Oh, snip snap. Awesome. You happy few. Brothers. I am Patrick Seitz. I guess I should get that out of the way first, just so if anyone's thinking it's like the ball joint doll panel.
Oh, crap.
I know, right? Half the room gets up and leaves like, I've had panels before where I had 3 people and 2 of them were waiting for the ball joint doll panel that was after my panel and decided they wanted to sit down in the meantime. But no, they were good sports. They felt bad. They were like, so, let's ask you questions. Who are you? It happens. I'm not a ball joint doll, that's for damn sure. I see them and sometimes they make me want to go all Grendel on the world. Like I want to put them in a giant like Lincoln log house and wait until midnight, then break in and just be like, I'm sorry, I know some of you were like, this dude's a dick. I don't know why. They've done nothing to wrong me. I just feel that way sometimes. But part of living in civilized society is you tamp these feelings down. You tamp them down, you play some violent video games. You do not break other people's ball joint balls. So far. Yes, I'm Patrick Seitz. I'm a voice actor. Why did I say it all pretentious way? I also sometimes do script adaptations for the anime. And sometimes I get to direct the anime. Or the video games, as it were. All right. How many people here have seen Girls Bravo? Yeah. Girls Bravo. Well, no, that was the first thing I directed, so it'll always have a special place in my heart, even though it's not the sort of thing you can show mom. I guess I should say, in case anyone's like, who is he? What does he work on? Because people always ask, and I'm like, I forget. Like, I could have recorded something that afternoon and been like, So, I got a quick version. Sengoku Basara, it's Motochika. He's a pirate. So, I'm like, I'm gonna break some ball joint dolls, and everyone's like, yeah! Like, pirates! You guys are... I'm figuring you guys out still. In Black Butler. That wasn't in that one. No, I just wanted to make you guys feel lucky. I was Agni, Prince Soma's master. His magical furry hand? His magical hand furry? I love that so much. He's a damn fine butler too. Manson. In Hetalia, little show. And I almost was in Germany. Well, I'll tell you that story later. It almost didn't happen. You guys are like, we could tell. Let's see. In Monster, I was Grimmer. In Redline, I was JP. He's got some hair on him. In Ouran, I was Nekozawa. In my Brotherhood, I was Sloth. In Fairy Tale, I'm Laxus. In Durarara, I'm Simon. I kept thinking Simon was going to get to fight, and then I remember on the last day of recording, I didn't know it was the last day of recording until we stopped talking, and she's like, this was the last day of recording, and I was like, I got to punch Johnny Young Bosch like once, that was the rest of the time just like, buy some sushi, Russia sushi. Why? Like, he was like twice twice as tall as everybody. You think they would have bought the sushi. He's like, you buy the sushi. I'm like, oh God, yes. Buy all the sushi, God. Funimation, woo, is re-releasing Technolize and Ergo Proxy and Paradise Kiss. And I mean, them. Paradise Kiss, I'm actually going to be having a thing tomorrow or Sunday.
I think it's tomorrow.
Where I'm going to do commentary during Paradise Kiss. I really hope it doesn't become like me being like, I remember that scene. Oh yeah, huh? Maybe I should pre-watch those episodes. King of Thorn, anybody? King of Thorn? You get that? Probably not. King of Thorn. I heard that. I got to, yeah. That's a start. I'll take it. That is getting released now. It's in the dealer's hall, right? But you can't go to the dealer's hall right now because it's closed. You can get it tomorrow. I got to do the script for that. Woo! It's like survival, horror, psychological, woo! It's Ric Flair stuff. Deadman Wonderland, which was on the TV. Senji also wears an eye patch. Someone on the interwebs pointed out to me, like, Motochika, Senji? What it is. Tiger and Bunny, I'm sky high. You don't know if that's a good thing yet. I appreciate your faith. Like, I hope it's good. No, please don't suck. Hey! Please don't suck. If you come to me later and you're like, yeah, so I take that cheering back. I'll understand. One little show called Speed of Pirates, One Piece. Franky. You know what else starts with F? Freaking finally. They both start with F. I'll tell that story later. And I got to do some of the writing with the wonderful Michael Tatum. He's so good on Steins Gate. I give him the words, he says the words, and they are glorious. Big ups to you, sir. Big ups to you. Some of the writing on Princess Jellyfish. Woo! Yeah. She's not actually a jellyfish. Spoiler bomb. Hellsing Ultimate. You know how Hellsing Ultimate 1 through 4 came out like a million years ago?
Yeah.
And then there was no Hellsing Ultimate anymore?
Yeah.
Well, now there's going to be 5 through 8.
Yes.
And they're coming out. 1 through 4 is getting released in October, and 5 through 8, hopefully the month after that. So yes, Blaze Blue, that's Rhonda. Warcraft is Arthas and Gross. And Captain Blood Flag. Have you guys played Warhammer? Anybody?
Yeah.
He's a pirate from the north. He's the best in the world. Yeah. Okay.
No mention.
I don't usually mention Koikaze because you have to be like, it's a show about incest. It's a very good show about incest. But the way I do this usually, I sort of pre-associate, because preparing is hard. If I wanted to memorize things, I would do theater. I miss theater, I'm not gonna lie. But it's weird because doing the voiceover stuff, you go in, there's a script, you read it, and you're done. Like, you don't, it's not like theater where you have to put things in your head, remember them, and say them in the right order. So, when situations like that come up in life where you have to prepare, maybe the preparation doesn't happen so much. I just figured I'd come and do it. I didn't want to stifle the creativity I was preparing. Yeah, I worked the last 2 years, what the heck. I was afraid I was going to come in and everyone's going to be like, all of you were here for the last 2, and you'd be like, we could be at the rave right now. Or whatever is happening at 10 at night. I don't rightly know.
The concert.
She had some crazy shoes. You know, I mean, not my cup of tea. I would wear it. That's all good.
I wrote that for you.
Yes, you did. Okay, we're even now. Yeah, because you made me the list. That's true. It's also,
I got you, Hetalia.
it's also thanks to you that I'm in Hetalia. I should tell that story before I forget. And this will be a repeat of anywhere. Was anyone at the Hetalia panel? Okay, you guys can just check out for like the next 2 minutes. Just be like, So, the auditions for Hetalia came up, and living as I do in Southern California, and Funimation is in Texas, and it's very far away, whenever I get the chance to audition for anything they do, I'm like, awesome, yay, thank you, because I know that bringing in out-of-towners is a pain in the ass! Such a pain in the ass, Batman! Yeah, don't even get me started on Bane. No, I've decided something. Chris Kaysen, you guys know Chris Kaysen? I've decided Chris Kaysen plus this. Hi everybody, I'm Chris Kaysen, I'm glad to be here. Oh, hello, I'm Chris Kaysen. Then you suddenly put this on Batman. Jason plus Truffle is I'm sticking to this theory. I don't know. So the audition, they sent me the audition. I'm like, oh, cool, auditions. I open up the audition sides, which is the paper with the speech and the words and the pictures and the and all of the character art was of the chibi forms of the characters. So I'm looking at this like, that is a 3-year-old. A Teutonic 3-year-old. And I've sounded like this since I was like 16, so that dog ain't gonna hunt. And on top of that, even without the character art, I was like, oh, no, I'm not gonna get it anyway. I mean, why would I even try? I shouldn't even try. Because actors are like that. It's just me. But yeah, I was all down, so I'm like, I'm not gonna try, because I'm not gonna get it, so I don't even feel like recording it. I'm just gonna like mope. Making my ugly mope face. And then my girlfriend said to me, well, you sure do like to complain. But you don't get that right if you don't audition. Because you can't win if you don't play. So her whole thing was, if you don't even try, then yeah, you're not gonna get cast. If you try and you fail, then you can complain. So that was the sort of carrot on the stick. It was like, fine, I'll audition, and I won't get it, and then I'll get to complain. So I auditioned and I got it. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Actually, that same thing happened with Black Butler. Yeah, because they were like, at the point in the game where I got the audition sites, they're like, okay, we're specifically looking for the Indian characters, for Agni and Soma. I was like, I don't get called on to a lot of Indian accents, because in LA they'll just hire an Indian dude. So I'm thinking to myself, do I have anything in my magical bag of tricks that I've used that isn't like Simpsons racist? I don't think I do. So again, I wasn't going to audition, but buoyed by the recent lesson of, you can't complain if you don't try, I was like, that auditioning thing works sometimes. What the hell? I'm gonna do this thing. And then I got that one, so now I always have to at least try, because, yeah. I learned a life lesson. Yeah. And interestingly enough, they had the same Japanese Seiyu, both those characters, Germany and Agni. Weird little bit of synchronicity across the Pacific Ocean. Not all the way across, but like partway. Where Japan is, because they're in the ocean. Anyhow, that's all English, not geometry. I was hoping no one would catch that. Oh my god, that they sound so similar. Hey, high altitude. I've got entire loads in my brain that are probably like hemorrhaging right now. A little respect.
At least you know how to fix an essay.
Go local. Oh, wrong essay. I'm so sorry, you guys. It's too late to go to the concert. I can just sneak in between songs. That'll be good. I can look for shoes. Shoes. No, I want comfortable shoes. I have comfortable shoes. None for me. Hey, you chose this. Just because it'll get the parts of my brain that aren't slowly atrophying up and running. I guess I should take some questions. Oh my god, questions! Whoa! Yes, your hand almost flew off of your body.
I'm here for a friend and stuff. Am I correct in thinking, you were Fenric from Disgaea 4, right?
Yes.
I would love it if you would talk about how it was just like working as Fenric.
That was a lot of fun. They showed me the character art, and I was like, he kind of looks like Ragnar if Ragnar were a furry. I'm just saying. Disgaea was a fun little project. I did on some of the other Disgaeas, just as little incidentals, just a couple lines here and there. But that was my first time sort of getting to play in that universe. And just the things that would come out of my mouth were so silly. Because, as I'm sure many of you can relate to in your day-to-day lives, Fenric's boss is an idiot. But he's still very committed to his success. And he tries really hard, and it's like, no, my lord, no. I'm not going to do that. Stop having a boner about sardines. You're a vampire, maybe you should drink some blood. So it was a lot of fun. I actually played the game eventually. I'm not good at it. The whole like stacking people and then throwing them dynamic. I'm bad at that. I really don't understand that at all. Which is to my detriment. So I play and I fail and I die and I play again and then I'm in an item level and I die. Now I'm in the part where I'm in like the human world and there are robots and they kick my ass a lot. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm better at Disguise than I am at fighting games, but not by much. Yeah. That's a good question. That's very good. Was that? Are you? I'm just wondering. How are you going to tell your friend all that stuff I just babbled? Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
Actually, funny story. If I can, she's really shy, so I'll just talk for her. Like a weird story, and there was a guy who contacted you about somebody who was a really big fan of Fenric, right? And
About
then
a year ago.
And then you recorded a Happy Halloween message for that girl, right?
Yes.
That's her. That's her.
What? She's very much true. This is the part where she stands up, she's like, "You're a hack!" And he gets rude. I actually like that during the Hetalia panel. I'm like, "What room am I in?" They're like, "Aspen!" I'm like, "Don't call me a hatchman!" I was actually going to trot that joke out again for this one. I was going to be like, "God, what room is this?" You guys are like, "Aspen! Aspen! Aspen!" I'm like, "Oh, God." But I forgot. So just take a second in your life between now and the end of the weekend and think how funny that would have been if I'd actually done that. It probably would not have been funny. I wish it would have been, though. I will go in the back and then I'll swoop this way. The back!
Speaking of voicing Ragna, are you excited about the possibility of re-voicing him for the new game, Chrono Phantasma?
Yes. Yes. I realize that's not a very meaty answer, but yes. It's not. I haven't had meaty characters in many games that turned into like full-fledged franchises where he comes back and says more stuff. So Ragna is a wonderful departure from the norm for me. I play using him. I'm not good. I'm not good. You know the things where he'll say the first part of the phrase and then you pull off the combo and he says the second part of the phrase? I don't even know what the second part of the phrase sounds like. I'll be like, "Infernal, infernal, 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 blood." I can tell from my inflection something's supposed to come after that, but then it's just game over, so I don't know. Yeah, that's a good fighting game. Still haven't got a chance to play Tekken vs. Capcom, because I want to see how Hugo handles, because he's as big as the screen, which I think would give him an advantage. So I haven't had a chance. That was a fun session, because like, for like 4 hours. That's a long time. I think the one that got me the most for that was for World of Warcraft, Garrosh. And they needed it right away, like right away. Usually you wouldn't do a long session with that voice because it's all right here sort of thing. That'll tear you up. Well, it'll tear me up, but you know what I mean. That'd be great, I talk like that, you guys like, and it was 5 hours of that. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. I got home and passed out. I was like, He's fun because he's got those tusks. You have to like, you know who? Oh, okay. Who here has played Diablo 3? Very nice. Anyone here played the Witch Doctor? A couple of brave people. Yeah, they fixed it now so you don't die so much. Like your summoned creatures have less paper mache body. But I got to voice the Gargantuan, like the giant one that it summons. It's all like behind you, and his face is horrific. I mean, it's like nightmare fuel, but he's kind of cute. He's like, I mean, he makes these little sounds. He sort of toddles behind after you and attacks things. I mean, it's like Lenny from A Mice and Men. He just wants to pet the zombie dogs. We're talking about the zombie dogs too. Except for every time you unsummon him, you can bring it back, so it's really not like Bison. Because George is like, boom, okay, yeah. Let's go kill Diablo, okay. That'd be a great video. Goodness. Over here. Oh yeah.
Okay, so how was it voicing Arthas in all the Warcraft games, and personal opinion of the character himself?
Well, I did, just as a caveat, or a disclaimer, I didn't voice him in all. I didn't voice him in 3.
Okay.
I came in to voice match for him and the stuff in WoW, which was a challenge. I mean, it's a challenge. I've been the guy that gets recast, and I've been the guy that they bring in when they recast the guy. So, I mean, that's the life cycle that happens sometimes with these things, and I've been on both ends of it. Coming in for a character that people really appreciate and really resonates with them, it's tough. I mean, I think I got pretty close. The internet sometimes says otherwise. According to some parts of the internet, it was the worst thing since napalm. Other parts of the internet were like, no, it sounded fine. So you get to the point early on where you realize you really, not to be like, psh, whatevs, but you can't put too much stock in what people say online, because if you take the good, you have to take the bad, and that's the facts of life. Facts of life. Very kind. Take that. But it was fun. I mean, he's such a tragic figure, because like so many awesome villains, they don't like go out and be like, I'm going to do something horrible today because I'm a villain. When they do the thing that they think is necessary, that the people outside their brain realize is not good. But that's how it starts. It's a slippery slope. We're like, we have to burn the ships. We have to call Strathel. You know, we gotta nip this in the bud. And then people are like, you went too far. And then they're past the point of no return. So he was very funny. I enjoyed him very much.
Came to a tragic end.
Yes, he did.
And you said you voiced Garrosh?
Yes.
Anything you can disclose about Mists of Pandaria?
It exists. It's coming. It's Mists of the Mexican Bakery. That joke never gets old. Every time I pass him, I'm like, ¿Dónde está el panda? I actually, it's not Garrosh, but I got to actually voice the orc in the trailer for that.
Oh, really?
When the human and the orc are on the island, they're all like, WTF. And then they start fighting, and there's a kicks their ass, and then they're like, friend. The human hands the orc the spear because they're both getting their asses kicked. Good times. Yeah, you.
Okay, so this is Hetalia fan question, and if you're not down with yaoi, suck it up. I need to ask you to do this for me. And I know this is kind of England and America thing. I want you to say Italy looks dead sexy in a mini skirt.
Suck it up! Do it for the fans!
Come on.
In your mind, can I pretend that like they're the last 2 people on Earth?
Go for it! So say it with so much passion!
German.
And German!
So much anger and passion. He looks dead sexy in a miniskirt. Now, just to ruin that tender moment, in my mind, that's what I say the moment before I kill him and eat his brains. You were the tomato fairy all along? What happened? Let's go. Let's go, you the blue.
Since I'm a writer, I'm really interested in how you write dub anime scripts. So I'm curious, can you tell us a story about a script you found particularly challenging to work on and how you worked through it?
Yes. And I should say also that the challenge can come in any number of forms. It can come in some shows, they really roll out all the stops and the visuals so the characters have very specific lip flap. When you see the show, sometimes it's waka 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 waka. You know, your choices are open and not open. If they start getting all like, then you have to put words in that fit, and it's a little weird. It gets to be like, you know, Russian Unicorn. Which is a great song. So sometimes it's the lid flap, sometimes it's just the deadline. I know for Summer Wars and for King of Thorn, so those both happened seemingly pretty close to each other. It needed to happen very quickly. And as much as I could, I tried to, I mean, sometimes when voiceover work comes up, they're like, we need you this day, this time, be there, or be the guy who doesn't get paid. Other times, like, oh, we're going to be recording this thing for a couple of weeks, so we've got some latitude with the scheduling. When that came up, I remember saying, okay, I've got these 3 weeks, I need to do this, I need to not be doing anything else during this time as much as I possibly can. So when I could, I scheduled stuff before that window or after that window, and it was just, the challenge was just having the discipline. Because after a while, you write, and sometimes it comes easily. Sometimes you're writing, and you're just going, and you're seeing the matrix, and then you're like, whoa, I just did like 8 minutes. What the heck? Good job, me.
Good job.
Time for a nap. It's only noon. But on something like that, where it's, an hour, 45 minutes, you just have to keep going. But it has to happen quickly, but it also has to be good. You know what I mean? No one's going to watch it and be like, oh, well, it had to happen quickly, so whatever. I think that's the challenge sometimes. It has to be good. It has to sound natural. It can't sound like William Shatner, even if the flap is waka, 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 waka. And the line is, in Japanese, I love you. I think that's the challenge. And I love doing it. I'm not good at making things. I'm not good at like modeling planes or anything like that. I never have been. But when I'm working on a script, it's almost like I'm putting together a watch full of tiny little pieces and cogs and springs and whatnot with a jeweler's loop, because you've only got that space. I mean, yeah, sometimes you have a line that's off screen and you can sort of fudge the timing a little bit, but for the most part, this is what their mouth is doing, that there's where the words go. It's kind of masochistic, but I enjoy it. I mean, I've got a couple different tricks. One is I'll write late because I find myself doing better work late at night. Sometimes I'll think to myself, okay, is it worth staying up all night to keep writing? Is it going to be, you sort of have to look at what you've done and be like, if I stay up, am I going to get enough done during the night to make it worth being a zombie tomorrow? Or should I sleep now, wake up early, work then? And it's different from script to script, because sometimes a script will click with you, the characters, the story, whatever it is, you get it. And other times, you're like, I just don't, wait, what? What am I doing? Also, because sometimes, the Japanese will repeat things over and over again. So you gotta switch it up so they're not saying, like, for the third time, blah, 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 blah. Those of you just joining us now, because it's been 3 people in a room for 10 minutes. They all should know these things that have been discussed. It's not like hitting them when they're on their phone or something. I think that's the challenge, just having the discipline, because I'm not a disciplined person by nature. I mean, that sounds like a horrible self-diss, but I play for a living. You know what I mean? I'm not really attuned to, you're going to sit in this chair from 9 to 5 and do this thing day in, day out, because that is what you do. So when the deadlines are such that I have to sort of hunker down and bite the bullet, it's just hard to stay focused. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm going to turn off the Wi-Fi, but I don't just magically end up on the internet. You guys know how it is. You're doing stuff, and suddenly you're like, Ermagurr pictures. Ermagurr deadline. Ermagurr, the sun is coming up, and I've been up all night. I haven't spent nearly enough of that time writing. Ermagurr. Yeah, I don't know if that, I hope that partially answered the question. It's a different challenge all the time, and I think that's what I like about doing the acting and the writing and the directing, is because I never get stuck in one thing. I'm like, okay, using this skill set, using this skill set, using this skill set. Even with the writing, you do yay many episodes, and then you change shows, and it's a whole new group of people to get to know. So it's always exciting and fun. I like it. Yes?
So for Tiger and Bunny,
Yeah.
did you know about it before, you auditioned, and did you specifically audition for Sky High, or did you try out for Kotetsu, Barnaby, Nathan, Rock Bison?
I'd heard of the show. I didn't really know much about it. I knew there was the name stuff in there, like Tiger and Bunny, that's an odd name for a show. Is it like a nature show? What is it? So I knew it existed, which really wasn't much. And then when the show came up, I watched the whole thing subbed on Hulu. because I'm like, well, I have it, and it's always helpful to be able to watch these things beforehand. Because when you go in, they don't sit down and like rap with you about the show for half an hour. It's here are the sides and go. So if you can watch it beforehand to get to know what's going on, great. You've increased your odds, hopefully. So watched the whole thing, really liked it. And when I went in, audition, I think I read for Sky High. Although I came back to do that. After I auditioned, they called me and had me come in a couple days later, like, we didn't have you read for Sky High. We should do that. You should read for Sky High. And I didn't, I got it, so I'm glad they thought of that. When I went in, initially I read for Kotetsu and Rock Bison, and I think Jake. I think I read for Jake also. And then went back for Sky High, I think. I like Sky High a lot. I mean, I know he's not in the show very much.
At least he gets his own episode.
He does. Oh, no spoilers, but he has an episode, and the episode gives you the feels. He gave me the feels. And I like his outfit. It's like he's got epaulets, and his helmet looks like a coffee machine, or like a cruise liner. It's kind of Rocketeer, and he flies, and he's very earnest about his job. You know what I mean? He's very like, all right, guys. And added bonus, the internet taught me this. His dog's name is John Goodman, which I appreciate. When I read it, I was like, no, you can't. Wait, his name is Keith Goodman. Dog's name is John Goodman. Ah, so yes. My brain couldn't handle that much truth. Let me go way in the back, dude in the black.
Me?
Yar.
Okay,
Yar.
I'd like to ask, how exactly do you get so low for some of your characters, like Sloth pulling off his brother?
That was
And how some other characters that you voice that have really low and deep voices that somehow does that hurt you at points?
in my soul. It's, I mean, I think a part of it is just an accident of birth. Well, no, I mean, it's, to a certain extent, part of it is just sheer genetics, just the equipment I was born with. My dad had a very low voice, probably as low as mine, and so I'm sure that was part of it. Going that low is kind of cool. It's fun. I remember for Sloth, when we started, Mike McFarlane, the director, was like, "Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll put some effect on it. Maybe we won't. You know, maybe we'll lower it manually. Let's see what you come up with." And I did a couple lines, and he was like, "I think that'll do. I think we're good." I think someone randomly came in to ask him a question. He's like, "Listen to this," and he played some back, and they're like, I was like, "I did that in my throat." With the the monster, like the garrote, like right here, sort of. It just becomes an issue of it's a challenge because when you affect your voice that much, you are limiting what you can do as far as the acting nuances. But again, you can't be like, so my acting's gonna be crappy when I do this voice because that's just the physical reality of it. So you end up having to cheat the acting notes, being more cognizant of hitting those nuances with the character, and just making sure you can be understood. Because when I'm suddenly talking like this all the time, I have to enunciate things much more, so that you actually know what I'm saying. I'm not just like, blah, 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 blah. You're like, we're all really scared of him because we don't know what he's saying. We're the Horde and we're frightened because our boss talks like the adults from the Peanuts. Roche, what is your command? And then their head gets like stuck in a binder. Captain America.
How fair is your Kingdom of Mexico?
Wait, what?
You were playing yourself King of Mexico last year.
In your sombrero, no less.
Alright, how good were you?
I have been a king in exile. The sombrero, interestingly enough, occupies a place of honor on my wall. Because where does one put this sombrero? And it's awesome because on the wall already was a poster from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Whoa!
I know, right? So the way that it's hanging on the wall, you've got Ezio's face in the middle and then the sombrero. just kind of worked out because the poster was already up, and just to let you know how proactive of a person I am, there was already a nail in the wall from the previous occupant, so I was like, wow, I think it was meant to be. And then when I hung it up and saw how the hat, synergized with the poster, shall we say, I knew it was meant to be. So, who here saw the sombrero? For those of you who didn't, you're really missing out. It was blue velvet with sequins and little gold threads that went from the upturned part to the middle part, like some sort of skyline, and there were sequins on there too. I mean, it was like I am the king of Mexico in that sombrero. I'm gonna let this democracy thing go. I'm mostly a figurehead now. Opening Mexican balls. Yeah.
I don't have a funny question.
No,
Well, I know you and kind of are Shakespeare fans, so how is it to work on Romeo and Juliet?
Romeo x Juliet.
And how is it the liberties they took?
That show, who here saw Romeo x Juliet? Okay, fairish number, you should go see it. When that came down the pike, Taliesin Jaffe, great man that he is, he was the head writer for that, and he brought me on to write, and I was very thankful. And he said, as much as possible, I'd like to sort of ape the Shakespearean language as much as we can, with keeping the flaps in mind. And I said to him, are you releasing me? Is the genie leaving the bottle? Because once it does, there's no going back. I don't mean this to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, it's more confusion. I go back and I look at those scripts sometimes, and I'm like, I realize what I'm doing here, I'm watching the show line by line, just having it looping, and babbling the translation to myself, which is in everyday English, and then being like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's a line from Shakespeare. Wait, will that fit? Part of that will fit. I was like, how was it even possible? That shouldn't have been possible. Making things up, quoting the show, and then I'm making other ones up, and I look back and I'm like, how did I don't know how I got it done, because I was doing other things, I was going and recording and having some semblance of a social life, but I still was filling those loops. Was it all off screen? I don't know. It was amazing. I'm really proud of those scripts because that shouldn't have been possible as much as it was. But it was great because I used to be an English teacher. I got to use that part of my brain again, and you'd be surprised how much. You have to go back and check the wording, and be like, oh, am I remembering this right, or which one is this from? But you'd be surprised how much Shakespeare is just sort of free radicaling around in your brain. You usually don't have occasion to think about things like that, but when you do, wow, I've got 3.5 plays. You're very interesting, to be random lines from all of them, but 3.5 plays off what's in my head if I just shook it out over the paper. Breakfast Club. No, that was a fun time, because I haven't had an experience like that since, really. There are characters that are very archaic in their speech, but it's never going to be everyone like that show was. Flying horses. The girl had wings. That side's all over it. It's in the back. Wait, that was you? Yes, okay. No, I thought your hand was hers because of the angle. You never. Okay, yes, you. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you.
How does that work? Okay.
Ventriloquist hand.
Yes.
Hat.
So what do you think of directing Deadman Wonderland, and also conveniently putting yourself as the best character in Deadman Wonderland?
Well, I didn't direct Deadman Wonderland, so I feel sad about my lack of directing Deadman Wonderland. No, Joel did an excellent job. No, I didn't direct Deadman Wonderland. I just did some of the scripts and then did Senji, so I can't. It's a lot less nepotistic than you make it sound. Although I will. It was fun. It was. I do admit I did get to write. Just luck of the draw with how the writing assignments fell and what number episode he was in. I did get to write a lot of my own dialogue, which is handy because then you go in and you just breeze through it because you already have the pacing, and the director's like, wow. You're like, man. But it's on the script, so they know. You can't just be like, I guess I'm just not good. Because then they're like, wow, you're going really fast. They go to the top of the script, they're like, oh, written by Patrick Seitz. Okay, I expect this. You should be that fast. I love me some Senji, and Deadman Wonderland, which is coming out on DVD and Blu-ray, or just DVD, just Blu-ray. It's coming out on a thing you can watch on a disc. There is a release-only a 13 episode that's all full of Senji. So if you like Senji, you need to buy the show because it's all about Senji, which I was down with. I will admit that when I directed Monster, when Grimmer came down the pike, I was like, oh, I want to be him. But even then, the final call wasn't with me. On that one, what I did is I said to the producers, I'm like, I'll read some people for this. But before I go to all that trouble and trouble you guys that hear all these auditions, make all these choices, how about I just read it? I'm gonna do you guys a favor. I'm just gonna read a little bit of it. And if you like it, that's fine. If not, I'll do auditions. Instead I'm like, oh please, oh please, oh please. Because at that point, as late as he comes into the show, that like it's kind of Grimmer or bust. Like if they were like, no, we'll give you somebody else, I'll be like, there is nobody else. Everybody's been cast. So, not me casting myself, but me maybe working the system a little bit. But you have to, you gotta look out for number one sometimes, son. Hat held up.
Oh, thank you. How did you like playing Captain Bravo?
His mouth wasn't visible very often. I liked it bunches. Yeah. I really liked his outfit. I like it half the time he's like, I'm a hero. The other half he's like, let me show you my Bravo kiss attack. To the high school girls, they're like, no, bad touch, no. I need an adult. You're an adult, I need a different adult. That was a fun one. It's weird because not many people talk about Captain Bravo, but every now and then someone's like, so Captain Bravo, I'm like, some people have cosplayed Captain Bravo. And I always kind of lose my mind a little bit. He's got the tall jacket and the hat, so you can just see his eyes. He goes, bravo. It's sort of this thing. You.
Oh, okay. Alright, so, well, I was...
Wait, you then you. It was 1, 2, 4th row, and then the back, 4th row.
There?
No, one above her. Yes.
Yeah,
I made that I'm so sorry, guys. I was complicated. I need like a laser pointer. You.
Okay, going back to Monster, because it's an amazing show and nobody knows about it. Last year, I got the little DVD release, and it was $60. I was so excited, and it was episodes 1 through 15. And I was like, where's the rest of it? And I go on Netflix, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's on Netflix, and it's all in Japanese. It's all sub. So I was wondering if we're ever going to release any more Monster.
Well, I've got the good news and the bad news. The good news is the dub is on Hulu, like regular free Hulu. So it is out there. The bad news is, for whatever reason, and I'm not privy to it, what that reason was specifically, after that first release, it was like you said, $60, they didn't put any more on DVD. I don't know this for a fact, I'm just talking out of my butt. I've got a theory that in a land of Bleach and Naruto, they were like, this isn't really doing the numbers we like, because it's not that kind of show. You know what I mean? Like people, you guys aren't going to cosplay for Monster. There's not going to be like 100 people cosplaying for Monster at a convention. And they're not going to have like Monster tote bags at Hot Topic. It's not that kind of show. So I think when it didn't immediately have the, and it's sort of, it takes a while to set up, especially that first yay many episodes, everything's all still going to hell for Deadman. So I think it just didn't have the immediate like following that they wanted to have.
And it's long.
And it's long. And $60 times, well, 74 episodes, so 5 releases. I mean, $300 for the whole series would have been too much. That was a time before companies were doing as much of the, here we're going to give you an entire season's worth for like $40. You know what I mean? I think released under different circumstances and more episodes per release maybe would have happened. It kills me. it kills me because when people come up with the monster box, I feel conflicted. I'm like, oh, well, thank you for supporting it. You need to find a fan of the show. There's that part of me where I'm like, I feel like I should like give you $60 because you kind of sort of got took. And I know that happens with anime. I know like part of it will come out and then they stop and you're like, well, that's half a show that I purchased with my hard-earned money. What do I do now? It happens, but it sucks when it happens. You guys know. I mean, you can't even sell it to someone else at that point because they know. They're not gonna be like, monster, awesome. Where do we get this? You.
Front row vanity shit.
Oh, what? You have to leave already?
10 minutes.
He's like, I've had as much of Seitz as I can take. I'm surprised he lasted that long. Dude in the back that thought I called on him before, and then I'll sweep this one.
Okay, thank you for that. Well, this is for me, my friends. Actually, mostly me, but can I be able to talk to Germany while I'm digitally, please? Hi, Germany!
Maybe we should do this in private so we can admit our love to each other. I don't think I'm ready to have this conversation. I don't think I'm ready to have this conversation in front of all these people.
Do it!
Dance, monkey, there! Shooting at my feet, oh my god! Find me elsewhere, people talk.
Over here! This area!
Wait, first Assassin's Creed, then I'll sweep over there. Favorite one that I voiced and why? It's hard to pick one. Because I've been liking about a lot of good characters. If I had one good character and the rest were like crap, I'd be like, oh, it's gotta be that one guy, because the rest were Grimmer from Monster is a favorite. I don't know if he is the favorite. Koshiro from Kurosaki is a favorite, because that show's rough. That's a rough show. I got to go places with a character that I didn't really get to go in anime very often because we had to treat it so delicately because it's about incest. It's not a comedy. 5 minutes? 3. Those are 2 of the favorites. It's tough. It's tough. But they're up there. Yeah. Oh.
Yes. Do you have any favorite moments from working on Ouran?
Just the fact that I got to. Now she's on the phone. Yes. Well, especially at that point, I didn't get to do zany characters that often. I was mostly doing like the low hero, villain, blah blah blah. So when Caitlin Glass sent me the audition sides for a show full of high schoolers, like I never sounded like a high schooler. I was in high school. I was like, hey guys, what's up? So I was like, this is new, and I didn't really get to do zany. So when the dust cleared and she's like, you get to be the funny one who's like afraid of the sunlight and has a cat puppet on his hand, I'm like, really? I get to, awesome. And going and recording, you have the lines where he's dealing with the sister and the sunlight and the cats, and he's a handsome princely big brother, and like jumping out and going, oh, going. It was a change of pace for me. I mean, now I get to do more zany characters, like Franky. But back in the day, not so much. I really appreciate her like sort of thinking outside the box and using me in a way that I wasn't being used as all the time. Yeah. Lightning round. What did I say? Oh, quick question, quick answer. Quick question, quick answer.
How did you like playing Laxus in Fairy Tail?
He's fun. He's a dick. And on that one part where they fight for like a number of episodes in a row during the festival, arc, I thought I was going to die. Because there was so much screaming. So much screaming. There's one point where he's just like Super Saiyaning powering up in the background, while they're like exposition in the front, and the back's like over and over again. He's just idly waiting for them to be done talking so they can fight. I was like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
What was your favorite part of Ghost Bubble?
All of it. I mean, it was my first time adapting a show, first time directing. I didn't know what I was doing, and so just the fact that I didn't second guess myself, I'm like, that joke doesn't translate well. Let's write a new joke. You know what I mean? Looking back, I'm like, this shouldn't have worked, but somehow it did because I had a great cast and I had a producer that trusted me, and I had good engineers, and all the stars sort of aligned. And when the dust cleared out, a show I really like, and it's really fun. Girls Bravo, I mean, I know for a lot of people like, the nudity, and it's kind of off-putting, but it has some heart to it. It's a fun show. When Funimation rescued that license and re-released it, I was like, oh, thank you. Because that was one that, especially when Jenny On went away, I was like, oh, it's gonna not be on shelves anymore. Although sometimes I go to Best Buy and they've got it like in the porn section. I'm like, no, it's not. Okay. It'll be hard as peeking up at me over the divider, like, save me. You. One back from you. One forward from you. Wait, glasses? No hat. Glasses, no hat.
We all have glasses.
Anime card. Okay, green first, then the one with the hat and the buttons. Green first.
I did. Green first.
You.
I know. Right, be quiet. Yeah. So, I gotta ask. I've heard some rumors that you've been secretly skulking around the corridors and seeking the wisdom of your wise sombrero. And for Kanta, I gotta ask, is this true or not? And I want an honest answer. You could fudge it a bit, but I don't care.
Been around. That's all I'm at liberty to say. My lawyer told me not to talk about these things. Hat buttons. Yeah.
All right, cool. Back to Disgaea.
Yes.
I'm just curious about how you view Val and Fen's relationship. Especially, I mean, they make jokes about it in game, and if you look at the DLC they did, it's really suggestive.
I think it's more playing to that because of the fan enjoyment and the squeak. I don't think that Fenric is really like, I love him so. I mean, I think he does in that, and again, I didn't read the character, so I'm not the one.
Could you say I love you, Robin, for us?
I've got 30. I've got 0. I mean, I can say the O is for my lord. I don't think they're in love. I think he's just really good at his job. It's like Bruce Wayne and Alfred. I don't think Alfred's like, oh, Master Bruce. I want to kiss him so bad. I think he's just a damn fine butler. I'm being told that I have 0 minutes left, so let me just say thank you guys so much for coming on the panel.